Well, it's a beautiful day here today, and blue skies, puffy white clouds, about 86 degrees, a little bit of humidity, but it's nice. And what I wanted to share with you today is the whole issue of what an important role your perspective plays in your overall happiness, with whether you decide to stay in your home country or you decide to become an expat. Because I'll be the first one to tell you, and I have said it many times, the Philippines is not for everybody. Neither is Thailand, Cambodia, or Vietnam, or Latin America, or anywhere else for that matter. It works out great for a lot of people. Philippines for me for the last 13 years has been wonderful, and it continues to be so. I came here originally not looking to start a YouTube channel. I came here not looking for dating Filipinas. I was already in a relationship 2 years with a Filipina in the United States, but all of her business and everything was here in Philippines, and so that's how I found myself here. But over the years, my reason for staying has kind of evolved. Obviously, her and I broke up, and then, my reason for staying has changed over the years. So getting back to perspective, I suppose the words perspective and perception could be somewhat synonymously used here. Your perspective is like your vantage point. Where are you looking at your life from? Howie Mandel used to do this thing where it was part of a skit he did years ago about changing your perspective. And maybe it was Gallagher, now that I think of it. Could have been Gallagher, could have been Howie Mandel. Anyways, the point being is he brought out a chair and he goes, try this sometime. And I did. And this was probably 20, 30 years ago. But he brought out a chair and he goes, now, first, look around the room and see what you see. And then he goes, now stand up on top of the chair. So, I did as well later. I got up on top of the chair and I took a look around. And that difference of roughly 2.5 feet or so, depending on the height of the chair, gave you a different perspective. The point from which you're looking at what is around you, your environment. Now, perception is more all-encompassing. Your perception is so powerful that you could be in a beautiful place like this, just, again, tropical, amazing, and yet you could be unhappy. You could have so many dating opportunities around you. You could have the money that you need and still wake up every day and just be unhappy and asking yourself, what's it all for? Why am I here? What's the point? And I don't want to really get into a whole discussion on, depression and the mechanics of it or treatment for it. That's not my forte. Most men are over, say, 40 or even 30, not married, widowed, divorced. And if you're watching this channel, there's a good chance you've thought about moving overseas and seeing if there's a better life for you here or not. But the two choices are stay in your own home country or move abroad for a whole different perspective, a different vantage point to look at your life from. And maybe that'll make you happier. But here's the thing. Change of location does not change who you are inside. So if your perception of life is that, whatever, in a negative tone, it's all pointless, there's no reason, whatever, changing your location is not going to fix that. But your two choices are, you can stay in your home country or you can move to any one of a number of foreign lands. There's Latin America, not necessarily my favorite, but there's Southeast Asia, there's Europe. Again, I'm not into cold weather, so that scratches that off of my list. And besides, I'm married here in the Philippines and I'm pretty damn happy. So to me, it begs the question, how is it that the Philippines is the Philippines with all of its, pros and cons, and you have a certain percentage of men who come here, maybe they stay 3 months, maybe they stay 3 years. And after experiencing much of what the Philippines has, their estimation, their whole summary is, this place sucks. It's not for me. I don't like the women here. I don't like the food here, whatever their whole thing is. And everybody has their own preferences. So then they need to decide, well, where are they going to go that they do like the food and they do like the women and the dating situation and the cost of living and all that kind of stuff. But then you have other people like me who have been here, again, I came here in 2012. I'm still loving it. I'm loving it. I mean, I've lost count. I mean, it's not many. It's probably maybe 20 different cities that I've lived in and passed through. And I love it. I mean, I've been in the big cities, the little cities, the province, you name it. I've lived in condos. I've lived in, an unfinished home. I've lived in all kinds of places. And despite all the different environments here in the Philippines, I'm still having a wonderful time. And it's not all dependent on the Philippines. A lot of that is dependent on my perception of my situation, my appreciation for what I enjoy. Again, I'm here at a beautiful resort, and after here, I'm going to go ahead and order some dinner or actually brunch, and enjoy the beautiful scenery. And I mean, it's pretty wonderful. And and I can do this anytime I want. And sometimes I come by myself. Sometimes I'll meet a buddy out here. Sometimes I'll bring my wife. Just depending on what I'm in the mood for as far as time alone or whatever. And so, I guess what I want to present you with is changing locations is only going to give you a different perspective on life. And for maybe the first month or so, it's a whole lot of new information coming in. It'll keep you distracted. You'll be in what a lot of people call the honeymoon phase. But then you're still left with your inner perception of what's around you. And if you're timid with women in your home country, there's a very good chance you're going to be timid with women here, even though it's a much easier dating scene. And the only way you're going to benefit from the dating scene here is to break out past your comfort zone. And I had to do that to a certain degree when I came here after I became single here. And, at first it was like a little, apprehensive. I wasn't really worried. It's just that I was so out of habit. I was like over a decade out of like approaching women. But it only took literally like 2 days of approaching women and getting dates for me to realize it's a whole different situation here. And maybe you're not looking for a relationship. Maybe that's not even important on your list of things you need for personal happiness. I live a very stress-free life. I mean, I rarely get stressed over anything, and it's pretty minimal. Yet there are guys here who have the same circumstances I have here in the Philippines, and they're stressed out all the time. But it's because they're stressed out over every little thing. They're stressed out if like right now, I asked if they had club soda. They said no. I said, what do you have? He goes, well, we got Sprite. I'm like, okay, I'll take Sprite. If my inner personality was going to make a mountain out of a molehill, a huge deal about, oh my God, it's the Philippines and they don't have club soda, well, a person thinking like that is going to have a million different things to complain about in his experience in a given week. It's no wonder that a person with that sort of perception on life is going to just, at some point, say to himself, this place is nothing but hassle. They don't have what I need. The service is not what I expect. Yada, 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 yada. Well, meanwhile, to me, it's no big deal. It's like, okay, they don't have club soda. I really don't like drinking soda, but I can handle one Sprite today. That's not going to be a big deal. I'll get a service water here probably, or a bottled water. You are responsible for your perception on life. And you can't blame it on your childhood. You can't blame it on the circumstances around you. You choose whether the glass is half full or half empty. You choose that. You have that power. And again, it does no good at all in your life to blame your past or blame anybody else. In fact, blame has nothing to do with it. Just change your perception. Change how you look at things in life. And you just might find that you'll be happy even without becoming an expat. You'll be happy in your home country, pursuing your hobbies. Maybe dating is just off the table. There's not much selection there, but if you're okay with that, you're okay with that. You have the power to make your situation not just bearable, but enjoyable. So I'm here again. I'll turn the camera around here. Okay, so here, take a look. I mean, this is what I'm looking at right now. Blue skies and puffy clouds, really nice atmosphere. Is all of the Philippines like this? No, but some of it is. And the parts that are not, I make the best of it. And whenever I can, I just get on my scooter and I come out and, I enjoy life here, So just want to put that challenge in front of you. Look at your perception and then see whether or not changing your vantage point on things would maybe be an improvement. Maybe you simply want change for change. So see you there in the comments, and we'll talk about it more there.